Hi, welcome to this week's video. So in Power BI, I'm sure you've heard of a calculated column and a measure. These are ways to do calculations in your reports in Power BI. Now, these two things I believe are like the fundamentals of being able to understand and work well with DAX. In today's video, we are going to explore these calculated columns and these measures, see how they both work, and walk through a few examples. So let's get into the video.
You've probably seen both of these in Power BI and wondered, what's the difference? By the end of this video, that question won't exist anymore. Let's start with the calculated column. Think of it like this. When your data loads into Power BI, DAX literally walks down your table row by row and does the math on each one. You can see it happening right here. It lands on row 1. It sees that the quantity is 2 and the unit price is 600. It multiplies them together, gets 1200 and writes that into the column. Then it moves to row 2 and does the same thing. Same thing, and it goes all the way down until every row has a value. Now here's the important part. Once DAX has finished going through the table, those values are saved. They're stored. They're sitting right there in your table as fixed numbers. And here's what that means practically. It doesn't matter what someone does on your report. They can click a slicer or apply a filter, whatever. But the stored values, they do not change. They are written in there until the next time your data is refreshed. Now, a measure. So a measure is completely different. Look at this field list. You can see total sales is sitting there. But if you go looking for it in the actual data, it's not there. There are no stored values. Nothing was written into any column. All the measure does is to store your formula. The actual number does not exist until a visual on your report asks for it. Before we see the measure in action, let's look at what's happening to your data when filters are applied. Right now, you're looking at the full table, all 5 rows. Watch what happens when a filter kicks in. Some rows get excluded, the table gets smaller. And this is the key thing to understand. By the time your measure runs, it's not looking at all of your data. It's only looking at whatever is left after the filtering. The filtered subset is what we call the filter context. So now watch this. The same formula hasn't changed at all, but when you switch the slicer to UK only, different number. Why? Because each time you change the slicer, the filter context changes. The measure is looking at a different subset of your data. It's not that the formula is doing something different, no. It's that the data that it's running against is different. That right there is the core difference between a calculated column and a measure.
Here's something that catches a lot of people out. Every calculated column you add is storing a value for every single row in your table. On a small table, this is fine. But imagine a table with a million rows. Every column you add is storing a million values. So in our calculator column, whenever we add a new calculator column, it's storing a million values when our table has a million rows. But with measures, because there's no underlying values aligned, the addition of new measures does not impact the model in the same way. So calculated columns would make the model larger or increase the size of the model, but measures would not work in the same way. So why can a calculator column reference a column value directly? For instance, just writing quantity or price in your calculation without adding a sum or any aggregation works fine. Why? Why is this? It's because of something called row context. When DAX is evaluating a calculator column, it always knows which row it's on. So when it sees quantity, it doesn't have to ask which quantity. It already knows it's on row 1, and so it uses row 1's quantity. Or it's on row 2, so it uses row 2's quantity. And row context makes this possible. A measure doesn't have that anchor to the rows, so there's no current row. Instead, what it has is filter context. So before the measure starts calculating, filters applied or slicer selections in the reports make the data or slice the data into a specific subset, and then the measure is calculated based on the specific subset of data remaining. So we can see that here our slicers narrow down our data set based on the selection, and so whatever is left, the measure works with that data, and this is what we call the filter context of the measure. So now that we've seen how this works conceptually, let's go into Power BI and see what this actually looks like with a real data set.
So we're here now in our Power BI interface and we've imported our data set. So we'll be using a sales data set with these columns. We have category, order date, order ID, product, quantity, region, and unit price. So let's start off with a calculated column. How do you add a calculated column into your data? Well, I usually go into more options and then I add in a new column. So the bar pops up and let's calculate, let's say quantity times unit price to give ourselves, like, let's say a total sales value. So we have our sales table. So sales quantity, no, wrong column. Sales quantity by sales unit price. So we have the total sales column added. And to see this, we can go into our table view and we can see now we have a total sales column based on our quantity and unit price. So let's go back into our report view and put our columns into a table visual. So we have a table and let's add in let's say the product, no, let's add in the quantity, unit price, region, and total sales. And let's not summarize them. So let's not summarize our quantity either. Awesome. So we can see the quantity of products, the unit price, the region, and the total sales value. Now, when we talk about calculated columns, we talk about how it's calculated on a row context. We see that here, just going back to that. Now, when we apply a slicer or filters on our reports, with calculated columns, we don't expect the individual values in total sales to change. So let's test this hypothesis. Let's bring in a slicer, and our slicer will contain our region values. So in this first row, we see a quantity of 1, a unit price of 450, a region of US, and a total sales value of 450. Now, if we pick US, we still see the row and we see that the total sales value did not change. So the calculation of a calculated column is not dynamically adjusted when filters or other selections are made within the visual. Now, let's move on to measures. So let's go to a new page now. So now we are going to create a measure. Similarly, it's going to be a total sales measure. So new measure. So we're using an iterator function called SumX. Iterator functions simply allow you to go row by row through a table when you're making a measure. We're going to call our quantity times unit price again. Okay, let's go total sales measure. Now let's go into our table view and see whether we're able to see this total sales measure column. It's not there. So unlike a calculated column, a measure is not evaluated on a row by row basis. Rather, it's evaluated when it is used in a visual or a filter. So let's go back into the report and see this in action. We're going into our report view, then we are picking a card now. Amazing. And then we're going to add in our total sales value. See, the total sales is 15K. Let's not aggregate this. Okay, but we'll calculate the sum, so it doesn't make a difference. So we have a total sales of 15K here. Now let's do something interesting. Let's pull in a table. And in the table, we are going to add in the columns that impact the calculation of our total sales value. So we are going to pull in the quantity, we're going to pull in the quantity, the unit price, and then the region. Let's don't summarize these again so we can see. And then we're going to pull in a filter now. A filter would be on our region, or a slicer will be on our region value. So we talked about how with measures, they live in a filter context. So based on the selections of, let's say, your filters or your slices, the underlying data would change. And so the calculation remains the same, but then the underlying data on which the calculation is being applied changes. So the value changes. And let's see this in action. So overall, this sums the total sales for everything in the data set because we've not applied any filters or we've not made any selection. But let's say we just pick UK. Immediately we see a change. So we see the total sales value changes. And when we come down to the data set, we see that it is only UK region values which are present in our table. So that means that the slicer has cut down the data to only UK. And now the total sales measure that we calculated is only calculating for rows that are total sales UK. And we can see that right in here. Let's step back and actually look at the formulas that we used in creating the calculated column and the measure. So let's start with the formula for the calculated column. Let me zoom in. So here we see we are using sales quantity times sales unit price. And so because the calculated column evaluates on a row by row basis, we are able to access the quantity and the unit price column. So for each quantity and unit price, it's going to calculate and give us an output because we are using what the calculated column function. But then with measures, we are looking at the underlying data as a whole. So it's not going row by row, it's looking at the quantity times price across all of the rows, and it will return one single value. So the formula differs in that. So if we click on total sales measure, we see we are going to the sales table. We're now going into the quantity and unit price columns and we are multiplying them. And then what we are doing is we are summing all of it. So we aggregate it upwards so that we can end up with a single value. So here's a distinction that you need to keep in mind. The calculated column would give you an output for each row in your underlying data set, while a measure will give you one single value for the whole underlying data that you are using in the calculation. Let me talk a little bit more about SumX. So SumX allows us to actually go into our table row by row to do the calculation because we need to know what the quantity and unit price is before we're able to calculate like a total sales or a sales value. So with the SumX, it's an iterator function that allows us to go in and say, okay, this is the quantity on this row, this is the unit price on this row. Now multiply them. And then after we do all the multiplication, because a measure returns a single value, we can't just do the multiplication and then just have the value. No, we have to add it all up so that we can return a single value. So just to summarize, the calculated column allows us to do calculations on a row by row level in our data set. So for each row, we're going to be able to do a calculation and have a value. Now, this new column that we've added it gets physically added into our data model. And this can either increase or decrease the size of our data model depending on the number of rows that we have in the underlying data. And we can actually see the calculated column that we've added when we go into our table view. So we can see total sales. For the measure, it works dynamically in the sense that it returns just one value. So it aggregates, it does the calculation, it aggregates the results into one single value. And that's what we see in here, where we see total sales, that is the same quantity times unit price, but it's all aggregated. So we have one value that is being returned. Total sales measures do not add anything into our underlying data. So when we come here, we see this is called total sales measure. When we come into the table, we don't see a total sales measure column. So measures do not add anything into our underlying data model. However, they are evaluated, or the calculation is run based on the filter context. So whenever a new filter or slicer is selected, we can see the calculation in action, and that's what we saw. Our filter disappeared, so let me just add it back in quickly. So when we select UK, we see our measure changes. When we select US, we also see our measure changes. So this is where we're going to drop off for today. I hope this has been helpful. Please leave your questions, comments in the comment section below, and we can walk through solutions to the questions that you have. All right, until next time, bye.